What is up, friends, YouTube and motorcycle enthusiasts? Accelerate here with the last round, the fifth and final round of the fall US Hard Enduro Series. This one is Buffalo Riders Extreme in Kingston, Arkansas. So if you guys haven't ridden Arkansas before, highly recommend it. This course was amazing. It was super tough, super grueling, well put together, and I gotta say, it was an absolute blast. So right out of the box here, didn't get any footage off the line, but I got the whole shot. You know I'm lying, that didn't happen, so I was probably mid to late pack on that one, but nonetheless, I worked to make up some time. The course definitely ramped up, and it was some single track right out of the beginning, and then it kind of got into some more technical stuff, and then it only turned up from there. The course was very progressive. Had a little bit of camera issues, but it didn't really cause any huge issues. I missed some of the first portion of the race. There was a couple hill climbs that I missed. But you know, it is what it is. But I got a ton of footage with my new camera setup. But yeah, just getting into the rock gardens here, and that's really the kind of the theme. Once once the rocks start, they don't really stop in this race. So they were slick. Everything was the rocks in this terrain very slick. So I'm running the JX8 still, and it did okay. It's definitely not a 140 kin to gnarly, which is what I'm accustomed to. But you know, I wanted to round out the year with the JX8. But yeah, overall, it wasn't terrible. I look forward to going back to my gnarly, and even maybe trying that Dunlop EX90 or the 91 EX, I think it is, the new one, the new gummy. So we'll see how that goes. What's up, buddy? Yeah. So that's definitely a theme throughout this race. I probably have assisted more people and got more assistance from other riders than any other race and I would say the entire series. That would be the spring, the Premier Series. I ran the East Series, as you guys know, and then also the Fall Series. It was just slick, guys. You know, it rained the day before. The mud was very slick and the rocks were super slick, and the way the course was set up, it was greasy, and that terrain, the mud is slick, but man, the rocks are just super slick. So you know, it was definitely one of those things where you gotta help each other, and you gotta solicit help and then try to help the next guy. And you know, it's an interesting thing with hard enduro. I think it's something that a lot of people talk about with hard enduro, which is so much different than a lot of other races that or type of racing that you see out there. Especially from an amateur perspective, it's probably a little bit more prevalent, but I have seen pros and amateurs alike help each other along the way. I know I've given a hand to a pro or two throughout the series, which is awesome. That's one of the things where it's like, man, these guys are some of the best guys in their craft. They still need help sometimes. Not all the time and not a lot, but it does happen. With that in mind, I will say with this course also, there were no splits. So that was the one thing that was different with this race than the others throughout the series, was there were no splits. But the way it was designed, I thought was pretty smart, and it worked well with no splits, which typically no splits, you just think the amateurs are going to get their souls crushed right out of the box, which I'm not saying that their souls weren't probably damaged in some way after this race, but I will say that this race is sponsored by JoJo Tool. If you guys didn't know, I've met JoJo a few times. I did not know that was JoJo Tool. We just were talking about. He made a comment at Battle of the Goats of how clean my beta was. He thought my bike was new, and I was like, "No, bro, it's like a 2017 with like 300 hours." And he was like, "No, it's no way, impossible." And we just kind of kept that joke going the last few times that we met and bumped into each other. But seems like a really super cool guy. Damn sure knows how to put together a tough course. So that's for sure. But the way the checks ramped up, and I think there was only like 2 DNFs in B class. The first check with a 5-hour time limit would totally be doable. So the course was set up as a 4-hour race with a 5-hour hard cutoff. So essentially, in 4 hours, you would have that extra hour to make that final check. That whatever that next check was, that would be it. So pretty well set up, and definitely some pretty good gatekeepers, like right here. That little rock wall right there was a little intimidating when I first looked at it, but it had traction, believe it or not. I was pretty surprised. Oh man, look at that open where. Oh yeah, we have a check here. Yeah, that was it was funny because it opened into that double track right there, and I was like, oh, a little bit of a break, maybe some single track. No, it just goes right back into more, well, like a little hill climb here, and then some technical stuff. And again, you know, with the course design, so what you really have here is a really good incline and a loop out. And then to the left is essentially a ride around, so a more grueling technical path, just a separate section that ultimately gets you to the same place. So, you know, all of the larger features like that, not all of them, but most had some form of like ride around that was a slower, you know, a slower route, but you know, less consequence, so to speak. If I looked at that hill, and man, there was two of those that they had where there was like a ride around. I took both. You know, at this point, I was feeling pretty worked, and this is actually relatively early in the race. This technical stuff just beats you down whenever it's just non-stop, and that's the definition of this.
Yeah, you're doing awesome, man. Tubeless, 3 psi. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you're doing awesome.
Oh yeah, shout out there to, I'm not sure if that's Ryan or Wyatt, essentially one of the guys on the KTM there, he telling me, I was, you know, he was telling me that he was running tubes with like 12 psi because he typically runs hair scrambles. I was blown away, you know, completely blown away. So shout out to him for, I mean, that dude killed it the whole time. He was the guy I fist bumped there earlier that was helping me over the log, and then I helped pull him over. So, you know, man, I was at 3 psi on the JX8, and I was still having traction issues. So.
Yep, same here. Sick, bro. Woo! So close. Yeah. Killing it, dude. That's right, man. Woo! Get him, Hayden.
Yeah, Hayden Mosa going through, making it look easy, you know. I tell you, man, those pros are just so efficient, and try to emulate their technique as much as possible. But I just, you know, it's really interesting. I try to study not only their technique, but what they're doing on the bike with physicality, and just, you know, it really is a balance of, like, you just see how hard they work. They're always working, and it's really impressive. So I think that's one of the things in the off season here that coming in the next couple years, I think the one thing that really needs to get a lot more robust. Obviously, the skills never stop, right? You develop skills the whole time. That's one of the things that you have to keep working on, refining over and over. But I think one of the biggest things, and I've been saying this for a while, is really just my aerobic capacity. Just having the ability to push consistently for hours with that high heart rate. And that's something that you have to train. It's something that runners and cross-country skiers train, and hard enduro riders can train it as well. It's just something that you have to build over time. So it's definitely at the top of my list to get better at, and obviously efficiency on the bike. I'll tell you, this type of terrain is just one of those things that you've got to ride a lot. Learning to be efficient on the bike in this, when it's so technical, it's just nonstop slick, front and rear positioning. There's not really a way that you can get out of getting efficient on the bike without training for this and riding this type of terrain. So, yeah, this is really good stuff. This is a sick race. I was very tired.
Give me someone to follow. Yeah, I was definitely getting frustrated here, and it's funny when you're editing. There's a balance, right? Like I just can't. There's like 4 hours of footage, and it's not really. You don't want to show just all, cut out all your failures or all the times you're frustrated and hunched over the bike and pushing and grinding. But you can't show just like, you have to streamline things and move them along. Like right here, I'm getting past ultimately what was 4th and 5th place. So 4th and 5th place passed me right here. So that was Ryan Odom, who ended up getting 4th, and then his buddy there previously in front of him. So yeah, it's it's like I was saying, it's a balance. You got to get your win. Show your wins when you get them, and show your losses too. That's just a part of hard enduro, ups and downs, right? So it is what it is. Fuck.
Hopefully get us out of these rock piles.
I'd like to have a little single track, not gonna lie.
I'd be good at just some hill climbs.
Hill climb again. Nope.
Alright,
404B.
404B.
Thanks, man.
1131.
Thanks, buddy.
Yep.
Pros, man. Make everything look so easy.
Yeah, Gage Logan Key there going by. As mentioned, making it look easy. But you know, the amateurs sometimes make it look easy too, except, oh, yeah, that's right. Yep. Yep, turns out it's not that easy. Not for me. But like always, we will get it done. The grind never ends, folks. That is the beauty of hard enduro. It is somewhat seemingly endless. And then you get obstacles like this. I'll tell you, this log, I cut it out, but I literally looked at this thing for probably a solid 30 seconds. I was like, how and this is attempt 2 here, and I was like, how am I going to get across this thing? And then I figured it out. Right there it was. That little rock was a little kicker, and then up and over. And I was pretty tired at this point, wrestling the bike. That was the 3rd attempt, and that little yelp right there was. I thought it was going to either puncture my air filter. That's that log, or my leg, and it didn't. It caught the frame of the bike. It stopped me in my tracks. But yeah, never a dull moment, right?
Go ahead, buddy.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Whoa. This is some gnarly shit.
The gnarliest shit is left to come.
For sure. Doesn't stop either.
Yeah, like this terrain is so wild, man. These boulders and just the rocks and stuff. It was really cool. Yeah, that was kind of the theme throughout this race was the terrain was just, it was a lot of rock, but a lot of different kind too. I remember shotgun hard enduro up in Pennsylvania was like endless rocks, but it wasn't like this. It was just the Ozarks offered something different, which was really cool. And race winner Quinn Wenzel going through there, he actually ended up winning the race and then ultimately the series. So shout out to him and the Factory Riehu team overall, himself, Hayden Mosa, and Mason George, just all on Riehus and just killing it. I don't know if Mason rides Riehu or if he rides for Riehu. But you guys comment below if you know if Mason's on the team or not, the factory team. I know that Hayden and Quinn are, but man, again, making it look easy, and those guys are just tanks, man. But I mean, we can do what we can, just try to emulate and push as hard as we can. It's funny because these sections right here, like this one, I kind of, the ghost ride was became the theme throughout some of these sections. But it is like we always say, the camera doesn't do it justice, and it really doesn't.
Definitely want to make sure I don't miss this one.
Didn't ghost ride that one, boys. I was pretty proud of that one. Like I said, I wanted to get that one on camera, and it worked out. Cleaned it first time, so pretty cool. So yeah, as the guy, the pro rider there that I was chatting with as he was going by, that was more than likely his, I don't know if it was his first lap or second lap. It would have been his second lap, from my understanding. I know that so 4 checks per lap, the 4th check being the start. Quinn Wenzel and Hayden did 3 full laps, and then from there, the pros that were subsequently after that just got less. So he had already come through, and he said it was going to get harder, and this is exactly what he was talking about. He's like, the gnarliest section is to come. This section right here, in the video, is going to take probably about 3 to 4 minutes for me to get through this, but it was like an hour. It was maybe not quite an hour, but it was a while. It was like 40 minutes at least. And as you can see, the rest of the field is kind of like littered in front of me. That's most of the B riders. So right there in front of me is, I want to say, yeah, that's most definitely 3rd, 4th, and 5th. All in front of me, and some A riders as well in there. So yeah, pretty gnarly section. Spills, chills, and thrills, folks.
No power. I was like, what? Yeah, we can. Let's pull it, dude. I'll walk it. You pull. It's safe. And there's no reason it can't go straight. All right. Yeah, dude. All right, let me get up out of the way. Nah, back up. You're about to drop in. I gotta get the front up.
Full tracking.
50 minutes.
Okay. Let's do it.
Yeah, huge shout out to those guys. Again, that was one of those sections that was pretty tough, and I was getting help and I was lending help, and man, I was so smoked at that point. And this little step, that step right there, was that was my second attempt on that one. I had to take a break after that, and it was just, the course just kept coming at you. And the last section, as described, it was funny as we were hillside, and as mentioned, some of the other guys that had been through, they said there was about the last obstacle or portion of it is about a quarter mile of a rock creek, and that's what this is right here with the double-sided tape. And that was an accurate description. It was a good quarter mile of this rock creek through here. So one last good obstacle to keep the heart pumping. One last obstacle. Yep.
Probably not the first one to do that.
All right, guys. One last obstacle for the Buffalo Riders Extreme Hard Enduro. And I gotta say, it was absolutely that. Fantastic race, awesome time. It was a 16-hour drive, and I don't regret that drive one bit. It was a fantastic time. Thanks to the promoters and everybody that put it together. I landed 6th in B class, so I was very happy with that, with no splits. And we'll see you guys on the next one. Get out there, get on two wheels, and ride a dirt bike. This is Accelerate once again. Signing off.